John, Senior Manager of Media Relations and Public Affairs with AOPA. Thanks so much for joining us in the Pilot Lounge. Today, we're speaking with Peter Weber. He's a first officer with Delta Airlines on a 737. You might also recognize him from his time on ABC's The Bachelorette and then as The Bachelor himself. He did a great job incorporating aviation into his season on The Bachelor, and we're here to talk to him more about his career, his passions, and his life as a professional pilot. So thanks, Peter, for taking the time to talk to us. You are a hard guy to get a hold of.
Yeah, of course, Jennifer. I'm glad we could do this.
So starting out, obviously, COVID is at the top of the headlines. So do you want to talk about how everything's going on in your life right now and how it's being affected by COVID, if it is at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's affecting everyone right now. It's super sad. In regards to my, my flying career right now, it's definitely been impacted. Tomorrow, I actually go unassigned for I'm on, like you said, the 737, and unfortunately I'm unassigned from the aircraft just because of the capacity being taken down so much by Delta, with having to react to this whole pandemic. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm staying optimistic that things turn around and the recovery is a lot quicker than anyone expects. But yeah, as for right now, I'm unassigned through at least October, where the care package extends through, and just fingers crossed that the future looks bright.
Well, we're rooting for you, and we definitely hope everything turns around, not just for you, but for everyone in the aviation industry, obviously. You have been able to still travel a little bit. What are you looking forward to doing the most once things go back to normal?
I just miss normal life. Yeah, I'm a huge, obviously, me getting into this industry and this career is because I just love to travel, and it's such a big part of my life. And I truly, when I'm on my off days, I'm non-revving around and traveling and visiting friends, and it's obviously you can't do that right now. So I just miss normal life, just like everyone else does. I miss flying like crazy. It truly makes me so grateful. If I look at it from an optimistic standpoint, it just makes me realize how grateful I am to do what I do because I miss it so much. And I just am fighting to get back to it, just like everyone is. And we're gonna get through this. So staying positive.
Definitely. Can you talk about your career path, how you started out? Obviously, you were born into a family of aviation, and how it led you to where you are now.
Absolutely, yeah. So growing up, my dad, he's a United captain. He's on the 787 right now. So obviously was always around flying, around aviation, going on trips, flying with my dad. My mom, she was also a flight attendant for United. That's how my parents met. So that was just kind of meant to be. And growing up, I always knew I had this passion. I knew I wanted to explore it. And my path started when I went to my freshman year of college. I went to Baylor University, and I had enrolled in the Air Force ROTC program. I had dreams of being a fighter pilot, and that's what I wanted to do. As I was going through my freshman year and getting ready to give my oath to begin my second year with the program there in the Air Force, just realized that it wasn't the route for me, and I wanted to go the civilian route. And so ended up leaving Baylor, came back to California, started some flight training just at my local airport, and picked it up, started going to community college to get my credits done. And long story short, finished up my flight training about a year and a half, got everything, finished graduating through Liberty University with the BS in aeronautics there. And honestly, it's a crazy story, but my first kind of lucky break into flying was because of a connection that from my high school rocketry class. A man by the name of Paul Avery, who's now a retired Delta captain. He's really, passionate about model rocketry as well. And we had met him back when I was in high school. So fast forward now a couple years, I'm graduated, just finished my commercial multi check ride, and he connects me with the chief pilot of a company flying Hawker 700s out of Van Nuys. Long story short, going for the interview, they hire me there and start my jet career. Just 350 hours. Just can't believe it. Just the most excited, grateful person in the entire world. And that was the start of my flying career.
It sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So what would you say to anyone who's thinking about becoming a pilot but might not have any direct ties to aviation?
Yeah, it's a good question. Honestly, if you don't have any ties to aviation, I would just I'd look up a local airport and I would just drive to it and I would find a flight school and I would just go in and start, making friends and talking to flight instructors, whoever you can at that flight school, just students going through, asking them for how their experience is going, any advice that they can recommend. Just hang around the airports, go to FBOs. This is kind of what I did in my upbringing. Even though I had some ties to aviation, just I wanted to be around it all the time. So I was always hanging out at the airport cafe or whatnot. Just it's obviously a really small, tight knit community. Just start going out and meeting people, and there's so much knowledge out there that can be shared by people that are just. It's such a passionate field, and so people are always excited to share. With new students or people that are interested in possibly getting into flying. Going for a discovery flight. Look up your closest flight school and sign up for a discovery flight just to see if it's something that you actually think you want to do after going for a ride. For me, I was someone that I was always on forums, growing up, just reading about being a regional pilot and steps to get there and get into the majors and just kind of nerding out on that stuff. That was what I did. But I think just the biggest thing I could say is just go be around like-minded people. And the best way to do that is go to your closest airport and just start talking to people.
Definitely, definitely. So obviously you love being a pilot and you love aviation. Can you share some pros, but also some cons of being a professional pilot?
Absolutely, yeah, tons of pros. And I'll touch on the cons too. But pros for flying. It's obviously it's a career that I am so grateful to be a part of. And this pandemic has really highlighted that just because I miss it so much. Truly don't feel like I have really ever worked a day flying a jet, and just the travel aspect, the ability to just get yourself kind of out of your comfort zone and go see new places. And for me, I love looking at a 4-day trip on my schedule and seeing new cities on there that I haven't either been to in a while or I've never been to, and looking up fun things to do on the layovers, looking up my crew, seeing if it's anyone I recognize, and just everything about it I love. And I would say, obviously there's pros and cons to everything. The toughest thing for me for flying and being an airline pilot is the diet, is the lifestyle to stay in really good shape, because that's important to me, and that's difficult just because you're not always on a consistent schedule. You're not eating at the standard normal times throughout the day. You're getting food when you can get it, unless you meal prep, and I have done that before. It is a lot of work, and you got to stay consistent on it, and then just pushing yourself to hit the gym when you get to the airport if you're tired after a long day. The hardest part, yeah, that's probably the biggest con for me is just health and eating healthy. Not that it's impossible. It's not impossible at all. A lot of effort to stay good about that. But honestly, other than that, they talk about you're home. It's a different schedule. You're gone a lot. You're gone for 3 or 4 days at a time. But specifically tied into relationships, I actually think this career is really healthy for a relationship. And I think human nature, it's healthy to kind of have your own time and get away and your sense of independence. And then when you get back from your trip, to see your significant other is such a treat. And it's so much, it's just so much joy. And I love that. I love getting so excited to come back to see Kelly. And I think it's actually really healthy for a relationship. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. My husband before the pandemic was gone Monday through Thursday pretty much every week. So he flies Delta pretty much every week too. So
Love to hear
it. Yeah. Absence does make the heart grow fonder. So what is it like being a younger pilot working for the airlines? We know that there are a ton of older pilots that will be aging out, and part of the reason for the pilot shortage. So what is it like? Do you face any adversity or positives, or do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think, it's no secret that there is, a large demographic that's older that's getting ready to retire. Obviously, yeah, the shortage was a pressing concern just a couple months ago. And, being a younger pilot, let's see, I got 20 now. I got hired at Delta at 26. It's been, to be honest, it's cool. It's been exciting because even in my new hire class, I wasn't even the youngest pilot. There is a brand new wave, of aviators super excited, coming through. And, I think it's actually great to have just such a good contrast there with a lot of more experienced older pilots and younger ones coming in, and just being able to share that experience and share stories and share knowledge and being able to learn from them in any way you can. I know I find myself doing that on trips. Every trip I try to pick the captain's brain and learn something and gain some type of notch there to put on my hat and feel like I'm better after that trip. There still is, in regards to the shortage, there's, once this clears up, there's still going to be a shortage. And, there's still pilots retiring at a very, very rapid pace, even, with possible furloughs. Hopefully they don't come, but with the talks that come in, once this does recover, which it will, for all those aspiring aviators that maybe are obviously on the younger side looking in and thinking, oh, shoot, everything kind of just stop. Yeah, temporarily, but I have faith that it's going to pick up and you're going to see us get into a shortage just like we were before. And it'll be a really great time to be a pilot.
We have seen you obviously talk publicly about your passion for aviation. Is there anything that you do personally to get people interested in aviation, or if you meet people? Obviously, it's a common occurrence when you're a pilot to meet someone and they say, oh, I always wanted to fly or would love to learn to fly. Do you do anything to help push people that you meet, or just as your position as an influencer right now in pop culture? Talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. Yeah, I am always all about talking about flying. Anyone that's interested, the slightest interest, if you let me, I can talk your ear off about it and try to get you just as passionate. One cool thing that I am doing now, and it just, I've been very grateful to have it just fall in my lap and work out with what's going on right now with the industry. I've partnered up with Icon A5, and they're a light sport aircraft. Actually, I have a picture here of it. You guys probably recognize this airplane. It's just a really awesome two-seater amphib airplane that I, partnered with them out of Santa Monica here. So I just recently partnered with them, but I put anyone that talks to me about possibly getting in flying or having an interest, I immediately start talking about that aircraft right there, just because of the amazing features of that aircraft for, one, needing only 20 hours to be able to go fly it. For someone that's always just, thought it was too daunting of a task to get into flying or get all your ratings, or it was too expensive, having a light sport aircraft, it's different qualifications to go fly that. So I push people towards that aircraft to check it out just because I'm so passionate about it and I think it's so cool. But I love, on my channel, Instagram or YouTube, talking about flying, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I do have, dreams to come out with some type of, I don't know if I want to say flight school, but, just a really good path. It doesn't have to be the path that you take, but just a really good path to put out there on social media for young aspiring pilots that really don't have any firm idea of how to go about this and get to where they want to go. I want to develop kind of a plan for people like that and give them inspiration and push them to achieving their dreams.
Nice. Well, maybe we can talk to you a little more off camera about AOPA's high school curriculum and some of the other initiatives we do. We'd love to have you help out with that. Talk about that too. I did hear you on the Points Guy Instagram Live. You were talking about Icon and possibly getting Kelly to learn. Are you a CFI? Are you gonna help her do that, or are you gonna make sure she gets all the way to her sport pilot and then fly an Icon, or what are your plans with that?
Yeah, so I'm not a CFI, but I'm actually going through training here probably in the next week and a half to just get checked out on the Icon. And what's something really cool that I think we want to do is possibly put Kelly through a type of training. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing it, and document it and just show how truly easy it is if you put the work in, how achievable it is to be able to fly a light sport. and really enjoy it and get the benefits of that just amazing freedom of flight. That airplane specifically, it's not an A to B type airplane. That's just adventure for the love of flying, love of flight. Type thing. So excited to see what we can do with Kelly in that regard, and just have the contrast there from an airline pilot and someone with zero experience getting into it. Could be kind of interesting.
Definitely. So if you weren't a pilot, what would you be doing, do you think?
If I wasn't a pilot, I would probably. I've always had such a deep passion for music. I'd love to, like, in another world or another life, be like a DJ. I just have so much fun. I resonate and get very passionate around good music I like. Probably say, yeah, like a electronic music DJ.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know if we would have predicted that answer.
Yeah, not many people expect that, but something I'm really passionate about.
Okay. And then where do you see yourself in 5 years and then 10 years?
Ooh, I would say 5 years. I would, hopefully be at an airline, still be a Delta. But assuming everything recovers quickly, 5 years. Would love to be a newly, minted captain. That'd be amazing to hit that in 5 years from now. Ideally, putting it out there, I'd love to, maybe be on the A220 out of New York City. Newly upgraded captain. 10 years. Why not? Yeah, go big, go wide body captain. I don't know if it's possible that fast, but doing some type of, Europe flying, again, possibly out of like New York City there. That could be pretty special.
Okay, what about personal life?
5 years. Let's see here. Well, I went on a show to try to have something happen. It didn't really happen. So hopefully I can rewrite that, and personal life with relationships be in a really good spot. Who knows, the marriage, that'd be great. In 5 years, thinking about kids, that'd be awesome. It's crazy to even think about that, but I could see that happening in the next 5 years and 10 years. Yeah, just being established, doing what I love to do, still flying, having a family, being able to just spread my passion and my love through platforms that I've been truly blessed to have and be given here, just to spread that positivity and that gratitude all around the flying community, because it's one of the coolest things in this entire world that we get to partake in, and yeah, just continue spreading that love.
Sounds good. I was Team Kelly from the beginning, so
Yes.
I'm glad I'm glad that's where it ended up.
Love.
Let's see. Can you share something that nobody knows about you?
And nobody knows about me. Okay. I believed in Santa Claus until I think it was 13 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a random fact that not many people know.
It's a good one. Celebrity crush. Sorry, Kelly.
Yeah, well, you go to Kelly. I mean, she's not really a celebrity, but I would say Jessica Alba.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we know the internet can be a mean place sometimes. How do you handle negative comments on the internet and social media?
Yeah, you just have to realize that it's not, the way I look at it, it's not real life. It's so funny. It's like two different worlds. You go from the internet or social media or whatnot and see all these really, depressed, mean people that just have this desire to try to spread negativity or whatnot. And that exists on the internet, but in real life, I've never seen it, not once. Going through an airport or just running into fans, it's just met with so much love and, just happy people. And that's been really great. I think, at first, it's when you first kind of get introduced to this world where everyone is following your every move. It's like, Jesus, it can almost, get to you for sure. But then you just got to do some deep soul searching and realize it's not real life. The internet it's this thing. But what actually matters, human interactions, what truly matters in life. You don't get any of that stuff. And I truly think too, I do my my best to just be so, I keep mentioning gratitude, just be so grateful for everything, where I'm at in my life right now. I'm so happy to be here that I just get too distracted with, trying to listen to things trying to take me down just because I have so much to be happy about.
Yeah, I like that. You said gratitude, but do you have a philosophy that you stand by? Some people say the golden rule, so some like a philosophy that you feel defines you and your life and your career and
I mean, I have like a little saying, and it's nothing crazy. It's very simple. I always say it's all good. That's my go-to. All my best friends, my family. What's Bud's my nickname? What's Bud saying? It's all good. It is. You obviously going through life. We go through struggles. We're as an entire world, human race, we are going through insane struggles right now with this pandemic and everything that's going on in the country and whatnot. But no matter what, in my opinion, no matter what people are going through or how dire situations can be, there's always something to be grateful for. And if you can put your mindset and your energy in that, it can pull you through. And it's all good. I don't know. That's just how I've always lived my life, and I think I'm going to continue to do.
I like it. I like it. So jumping back to commercial aviation for a quick second, what are your thoughts on the future of commercial aviation? What would you say to people as well who might be scared to fly right now? And any tips as a pilot about flying?
Yeah, it's a weird time. It's a scary time. Before I went unassigned, I was doing some traveling with commuting, and I remember seeing the airports right when this all hit were just ghost towns, and it was really freaky and, just unfortunate to see. It was really sad. And then you started seeing people slowly start trickle back in. I know the airlines had cut back capacity quite a bit, but listen, right now, if you haven't flown at all, it's weird, it's different. I unfortunately, as optimistic of a person I am, I do think there's going to be a new normal, at least for the next couple of years, in regards to masks. I know that there's, now some airlines, I guess, that are going 100% capacity. I know Delta's still at 60%, with trying to promote social distancing. And, I think that's really great. I'm proud of them for doing that. To try to calm some of your fears for people that are thinking of possibly flying. Again, don't do it if you don't have to, obviously. But the first one, do not fly if you're sick. If you're feeling any symptoms, don't get on that airplane. The airplane itself, airlines are doing such a good job of doing their best to keep that airplane as clean as possible and keep you as safe as possible in regards to doing a fogging with the electrostatic sanitizer, essentially machine that cleans all the surfaces after people deplane, to wiping down all the seat rests and arm rests and the window shades, anything you would touch. They're doing a really good job of keeping that airplane as clean as possible. The filters, the HEPA filters, for people that don't know, every 2 to 3 minutes, all that air in that cabin is being circulated and being cleaned out. And they're doing a good job of that too. It's a very high rate, 99.9%, of that air is super clean and safe for you guys to breathe in. Listen, I know some people, some airlines with middle seats are trying to figure out, okay, do we block middle seats or whatnot? I've been reading articles about, like I said with the points guide, that necessity is the mother of invention. And, so what are we going to do? On airplanes, people are so crammed in, and that is what it is. You can't change that. But I've seen now, sketches here of, airplanes with the middle seats going the opposite way and having a barrier essentially from the aisle seat and the window seat, and being able to keep people just distant that way. I know people would love to get rid of middle seats altogether. I don't know if that's happening because that's how airlines make money. Yeah, I've seen stuff with, Boeing's talking about with the Clean Initiative of developing labs that can, in 2 to 3 seconds, completely with a UV light, completely disinfect themselves, and have that ready for the next passenger to use. I think you're going to see that technology used in the entire cabin of airplanes in the future, just moving forward. And I hope we get back to normal flying and normal demand and schedule. I do think it's a ways away, but airlines are doing their absolute best to keep you as safe as possible if you have to fly.
So switching topics a little bit, I actually tuned into a webinar with OBAP and a bunch of other diverse aviation groups. They had a guest on it. It was the CEO, I think it was United, who ended up flying Southwest and talking to that flight attendant. She saw that he was reading the book White Fragility. So what are your thoughts? Obviously, aviation isn't a too diverse industry. What are your thoughts on diversity in aviation and improving it moving forward?
Yeah, I definitely think, that's an issue that we face in our field, and it's unfortunate. And I know there's, amazing organizations like OBAP that are promoting to change that, and it needs to be changed. There's no reason to have the airline industry be a predominantly white male industry. There's just no reason. This is such a beautiful career field, and all different types of people, I guarantee you, are interested in it and attracted to it. And it should be, ideally in a perfect world, it should be available to everyone and promoted and encouraged to everyone that has a passion to get into it, because it's so amazing. But there is an issue, and I do hope that it gets corrected. I have seen, improvement. I have, seen a lot of friends, minorities that get on with major airlines, and it warms my heart, and it's great to see. And I want to see more of that, and I think we will.
So switching to GA, what's your favorite part of general aviation?
GA will always have a very special place in my heart. I still keep up with it. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of it now, but it's just, I don't live too far from my local airport, so I like to I mainly fly Cessna 150, Piper Apache, a little bit here and there. One of my buddies has an RV7. I get to fly around, and then now with the Icon A5. Those are the main airplanes I fly, general aviation. But I'm all about doing fun trips in it, doing a weekend getaway up in the mountains, or taking a plane over to Catalina, which is just a small little island here off of the coast here off of LA. I love general aviation. It's just such an adventure, and it's a different type of flying than airline flying, obviously. So yeah, I plan on doing that as long as I can.
Have you ventured into rotor at all with helicopters, or no?
No experience with that.
Okay. So we have a podcast at AOPA. It's called Never Again, where people talk about emergency situations they were in while they were flying and how they safely navigated out of it. Do you have any scary stories while you're flying, either commercial, obviously we don't want to freak anyone out, or while you were in your own small planes?
Yeah. Let's see here. I remember, and it was an experience that just definitely, it's just a feel good experience. You go through training, and you put so much work in. You go in the simulator, and you put yourself through situations that you hopefully never encounter, and when you do, you do your best to get out of them. Nothing crazy. I remember I was a newly minted captain at Compass Airlines, the regional airline I flew at, and we're coming into Las Vegas, and I was on the Embraer 175. And you do a ton of wind shear avoidance, maneuvers and procedures in the sim with that. But anyways, we were on a pretty windy day into Las Vegas, and we're maybe 200 feet. I was crystal clear, but maybe 200 feet over the ground, getting ready to land. I just see my airspeed indicators drop like 40 knots, and immediately I've always heard it, never really had to face an emergency or dire situation like that, but your body just takes over, and your training instincts just take over. Do the wind shear recovery procedure, and it was great getting that full power in that jet, all that thrust, sending it to the firewall with the thrust. But just it was a little bit hairy of a situation, just because I'd never seen such a drop in airspeed before, so low to the ground in a jet. So not something you want to see, but we were trained for it perfectly, and definitely got that adrenaline going. And again, it was a sense of it was a good feeling of getting on the ground and realizing how well your training, was done, completed, and how it helped you in that situation. And luckily, I can say that's about the diciest thing I've had to face flying.
Okay. Back when you were a student pilot, what was your biggest fear and how did you overcome it?
I think it's funny. I always knew I wanted to fly, and I knew somehow, some way it was going to happen. But I remember my first flight I went on. It was for the Civil Air Patrol (CAP) out of in Waco for Baylor, the Baylor Air Force ROTC program. We got on 172. It was me and one of my friends. They took two of us for like introduction flight. It was my first time in a small airplane like that, believe it or not. And I remember at first I was in the right seat up front, and I remember just like how I wasn't expecting the airplane, just because it was such a light aircraft, to be so unstable and feel anything from the wind and any slight movement. And I remember being nervous and like scared. I didn't like that feeling. I was like, oh my God, I thought this was gonna be a little bit more stable, being in such a small airplane. And I was like, this is an issue. Like, if I want to be a pilot, I need to be okay with this. And it was, an hour later, I was used to it. But that always sticks out to me is the first time I ever went up in a small airplane, I actually for a second doubted, can I do this? Because it was a little bit nerve wracking and unnerving for me to be in such a small airplane, being moved around so much.
Well, now you go in an RV, which is way
Now I'm
lighter.
doing
So
aerobatics and whatnot. So, like I said, that only lasted for about an hour, and then I was hooked.
yeah. Let's see. Do you own your own airplane? Or you said you just fly with some friends?
Yeah, I'm lucky I have some really great friends, have some aircrafts, that let me fly. I'd love to own an Icon A5, hopefully one day. But as of right now, no.
So I was going to say, if money wasn't a factor, which airplane would you buy? Maybe besides an Icon?
TVM. I am obsessed with those
Yeah.
airplanes. Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's money's not a factor. That's just, to me, one of the coolest private airplanes. It just looks so sleek and just great look. Just yeah, this sexy look about it, and it just so obviously so fast. I think they threw out at like 325, 330. So TBM.
They are really good looking. Our CEO flies one, so you can come hang out with us and go fly
There
with
we
him.
go.
Um,
Sounds
where is your favorite place to fly when you're not working?
when I'm not working. I would say honestly, one of my favorite flights, not with the airlines, just in GA, is out to Catalina. I love flying just, down the coast. I love flying up the coast to Pismo Beach. It's like a sand dune area, just a little bit farther north from Santa Barbara, Point Mugu area. I love doing those kind of flights. I love flying over to Big Bear. It's a nice mountain lake kind of town, about 2 hours outside of LA. For GA, those are some of my favorite places to fly.
Okay. I think we did a video for our Air Safety Institute. That runway at Catalina, it's curved, right? So you have to definitely be pretty experienced flying there.
Yeah, it has kind of. I haven't been there in a while. I think they actually redid it, did some construction on it. But I remember years ago when I went there. Yeah, it's kind of got this optical illusion, and it almost seems
Mhm.
like from where you're at on the runway, it looks like it ends there, but obviously it doesn't. So a
Yeah.
little bit of little optical illusion there, and it's kind of high up there. It's on a cliff, airport in the sky. It's like 1,500 feet up in the sky there. So it's a beautiful airport.
Yeah. Um, do you have a favorite GA airport restaurant?
Oh yeah, Waypoint Cafe out in Camarillo. Amazing tri-tip. I love that. That's my local airport, and I've been going there for a while. So great milkshakes, chocolate milkshakes. Oh boy, it's good
Nice.
stuff.
I'll have to add that to the bucket list.
You have
Um,
to. Today and Saturday they do the really good tri-tip.
nice. Have you done Oshkosh or Sun and Fun, or do you ever try to go to those?
I have not, but I definitely want to. I'm kind of bummed out. I don't think it's gonna happen this year, but
Yeah, it's can.
it's canned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting that. I have not done it yet, but definitely have, hopes to do that soon.
Okay, you'll definitely have to join us. We have a huge tent and a lot of airplanes set up. We're actually right across from the Brown Arches, so we're easy
Oh,
to
okay.
find.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, we'll do that.
Um, so you said you mentioned helping Kelly get her sport pilot, and I asked if you were a CFI. Six pack or glass cockpit?
Glass.
Okay. Any
Yeah, I got to.
particular
I was lucky. I got the dialogues, analogs, in experience in a jet in the Hawker, and that was great. I definitely am grateful for that experience. But yeah, I love a glass cockpit.
Okay. And what's the coolest airplane you've flown?
Embraer 175. Yeah, it's got a very, very special place in my heart. I just loved it. Loved the way it looked. Loved the way it flew. Just yeah, it was a comfortable regional aircraft. Just awesome memories in that airplane.
Okay. Do you have any aviation heroes?
Um, yeah, I mean, to be honest, my dad is my biggest aviation hero. I've, growing up, just always admired him so much and looked up to him like crazy, and just been so proud, to have him be my dad going on a trip, walking through the airport, and him in his uniform, and just always just giving me so much great advice growing up about flying and just life in general. So that definitely goes to my dad.
Nice. I'm sure you're somewhat his hero too now that you get to bring aviation into primetime TV and get everyone to recognize that. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, what was it like trying to incorporate aviation into your season on The Bachelor?
So I was, yeah, as we were prepping for the season, obviously I was trying to incorporate as much as possible. And I remember the producers coming to me and, asking me about, actually, this is fun to look back on now. I remember, yeah, they wouldn't tell me what the dates were going to be in advance. They wanted it all to be a surprise still, but they would give me hints and they'd be like, all right, so we need to get in contact with your friend that owns the Apache that I was able to fly on the Bachelorette season. We need to get in contact there. We're not telling you what it's for, but just please pass along the contact. So I did, knowing that was probably going to happen. Got to take actually Kelly flying in the Apache on the first group date. They told me, asked me if I had a seaplane rating. Unfortunately, I did not at the time. We looked into getting training for it, and as I was really like looking seriously to get that done, the producers came back and they said they scrapped it.
Oh,
But then they started pursuing the RV7 as well. They thought that was a cool airplane, and that they ended up using that a lot in one of the intro shots. And I got to fly a Cirrus in Cleveland, Cleveland, and I had to go through a course through that as well. So before any of that happened, I was doing this course online, having no idea when it was going to come or when I was going to use this certification for the Cirrus to fly it. But yeah, definitely stoked we got to fly so much. I remember one cool thing. It was a special moment. We were on this Qantas 737 out in Australia, and we were flying to the Northern Territory to finish up the show. And it was the show. The entire airplane was all the crew, and just there was no other people on the airplane. We had chartered it by ourselves, and got up there at the front of the airplane and just did like a nice just thank you announcement to the whole crew. It was just a special moment to be able to thank them for everything they had done for me up to that point. And it was the whole airplane, 737. That's what I fly. So that was a cool memory. And then yeah, a lot of helicopter dates actually on the show. That was my first time ever in a helicopter going on the show, and that was super cool as well.
that sounds awesome. Too bad they didn't end up paying for you to get your seaplane rating for the show. That would have been
Oh,
nice.
oh, that would have been great.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So while filming, besides the times you did get to fly, did you take a hiatus from the airlines, or what did you have to do for both seasons?
Yeah, I lucked out with that. I was able to incorporate a lot of just schedule, I guess you could say just working my schedule with vacation and sliding vacations over to drop trips. At Delta, we have a couple different mechanisms or ways to drop specific trips, without pay, obviously, but we're afforded that in the contract, so that helps out a lot. And then just having good friends take trips, pick up trips for me. That helped out a lot, and just Delta was very supportive. My chief pilots were very, very supportive of me and helped me in any way they could. So very grateful for that.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Um, okay, so I'm gonna do a little word association. So I just say a word, and then you have to say the first thing that comes to your mind um, after I finish saying the word. Okay.
All right, let's
I
do
only have
it.
a couple. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So airplane.
First one's movie because the name the movie airplane.
Okay. Pilot.
um, my dad,
Okay. Future.
supersonic,
Aviation
love,
and fun.
aerobatics.
Okay. There you go. So what made you get into aerobatics? How did that go? Because that scares me to death.
Does it? Yeah, I don't know. I always thought it was super cool. Obviously, I'd always wanted to, be, like I said, a fighter pilot. And one of my buddies, he's got an RV-7, and asked me if I wanted to go up with him one day. And I was like, absolutely. And I just was so hooked on it. And to be honest, I was like, this is the closest you could get to being a fighter pilot. Flying an F-22, flying this RV-7, and it's pretty cool when you see that G meter start going up. You're like, oh my God, how are these wings not ripping off? But it's an awesome thing to do. You should definitely try it.
Okay. So if you do have extended period of time off, do you think you'll do anything, pursue other ratings, or how do you think you'll fill your time?
Yeah, so I plan on, I'm really excited again for the Icon to partner with them and do, hopefully some demo flights and just get some good flight time in that aircraft. Obviously get my seaplane rating, that'd be sweet. And just make the most of this time off. If I can't fly, really dive into just some good GA flying, and hopefully come October, I don't have to be looking for a different company, but obviously be doing my due diligence if that is possibly the case. But fingers crossed that's not, and I have faith for the entire industry that we are going to make it out of this, okay, and it's just going to be a minor speed bump.
So I do have a coworker that wanted me to ask you one question. Do you make a habit of washing your airplane with your shirt off?
Wait, what? No, I do not make that a habit. I I remember I was so embarrassed when they were like, "Hey, you should do this." I was like, "What? I know, I would never do this." And no, you should do it. You should do it. I was like, whatever, just having fun with it and being goofy. I can promise you that's the one and only time I've ever done that, and I don't see that happening again in the future.
Do you have any news that we can break here with AOPA? You did talk about your hiatus and everything else, but do you have anything that AOPA can break some news here?
The biggest thing I would say is the Icon partnership that I'm going to be starting. Let me see here. Yeah, I wish I could give you guys something. Nothing really breaking besides that. Just in regards to the show, very very happy with how it all worked out, and couldn't have predicted it to work out this way, obviously. But everything does happen for a reason. I believe that, and it did. And I'm just excited to moving forward, just share my passion, with Kelly, and let her see exactly why I love aviation so much, and how I found my co-pilot. And there's some breaking news, and I'm excited to be doing just life together and the adventure flight that is.
That's awesome. Do you keep in touch with anyone else from the Bachelor family?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm really close with Dustin. He's out in Chicago. Devin. Yeah, really, it's good people. It's good people. It's a cool community, and we went through something really unique together. So, good people.
That's awesome. Do you have anything else to add? I think I actually got through all of my questions.
Yeah, so my dad put this in. One of the things nobody, I guess he heard that, nobody knows. This is a fun one. I forgot about it. In high school for the that rocketry class I told you about, we actually, my junior year, we were a finalist in the Team America Rocketry Challenge. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, the TARC Challenge, and it's where you get a rocket up to 750 feet, as close to that as possible, with 2 eggs, and return it down to the Earth in 45 seconds. And we placed 4th in it, but we were one of the finalists in that, and that was an awesome, probably my favorite experiences from high school, and definitely helped me, grow my love for aviation and promote that.
Nice. I feel like we need to get you over to AOPA, because I did talk about our high school aviation STEM curriculum that we have in a ton of classrooms across the country. I think it was like 161 this past year. There's gonna be more than 8,000 students using the curriculum for the next school year. You know how at Bachelor, how you go and knock on people's doors and surprise them, like close to the finale? We need you to get these classrooms and surprise the students that are learning about aviation. I think that would be so exciting.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do some surprises. I'm down. I did that a little bit in my high school. A couple years after I graduated, I actually went back to specifically the rocketry class and the club they had there, and surprised them and just talked about, what was going on with them. So I'm all about that for sure.
That would be so fun. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with and chat with us. I hope we can check back with you in about maybe 6 months and see how you're doing, and maybe we can team up with you to do some fun stuff with the curriculum and inspire the next generation of pilots.
That sounds amazing. Let's do it.